Paging Dr. Miller.
Well, the WNBA seems to be in the news media just as much as American Eagle, but yet is not benefiting nearly as well as American Eagle benefited from their newsworthy content and the exploration of genes. Jeans. Well, the WNBA players are pissed. Certain celebrities are pissed that the players aren't getting paid enough. Quite frankly, I think if you make $70,000 to play a game over the course of 3 months, you're very well paid. These players also go over to Europe and play for the rest of the 9 months out of the year and make plenty of money. But Stephen A. Smith suggests support for federal investigation into WNBA for treatment of Caitlin Clark. 100% this is the right move. I think that there should be an investigation in the WNBA for what they have allowed these teams and these players to do to this poor young girl who's not poor, who's probably the richest WNBA player that has ever existed. But to allow her to be beat up and torn up because she's white in a mostly predominantly black league is wrong, and it's a civil rights violation, just as it would be the other way around.
I felt like it's Monday morning at the yard at recess, and I'm talking to my friends about the Simpsons episodes over the weekend. Like, we're having a conversation about a fake league that is around a fake topic like racism. Like, first of all, the WNBA is not a real league, it's subsidized. It's not actually a commercial enterprise. There aren't enough people that demand to watch women play basketball at a professional level to warrant ticket sales and merch sales. So it's being propped up, it's being subsidized. Everybody knows that. Anybody that looks into the WNBA knows that there's absolutely it is not a commercial enterprise. It is a social experiment that's being propped up so that we can sit around and then talk about how we have these mind warped people that are essentially hating Caitlin Clark because she's white and she's better at basketball than everybody else. So it's silly and it's ridiculous in my opinion.
Washington Journal has an opinion piece by Sean McLean, the WNBA and Caitlin Clark's civil rights. If the league won't act to protect its superstar from a hostile environment, the government should do so. Caitlin Clark has done more for Women's National Basketball Association, similar to what Michael Jordan once did for the NBA, made it more valuable, watchable, and marketable. Instead of protecting its transformative star, the league's leadership ignores the relentless targeting of Miss Clark, treating its greatest asset as if she were a PR headache.
Was Larry Bird treated this way when he was like really good in his
Larry
day?
Bird was a monster.
No.
So Larry Bird warranted the respect that he was deserved.
He demanded it. He requested it. He didn't take nothing else but the respect, and he trash talking be real hard on everybody. He didn't care.
But Caitlin Clark gives it back too. I mean, she doesn't take it.
Look, it sounds like the WNBA is nothing more than a DEI hire, freaking nonsensical, idiotic,
Here-
dumb thing. And always
here's the problem. Okay, number one, I think that there's plenty of people that would enjoy women's sports on television. I don't think that it's unmarketable. I don't think that it's unpalatable.
Which
It needs
sport?
to be
I-
entertaining, though.
I'll give
But
you
but
tennis.
here's the deal.
Yeah, I can get
Right? Here's the deal. And here's where these guys have failed. There are millions of American girls that play these sports. Women's soccer, women's softball,
Tennis.
tennis, golf. And tennis and golf are actually hugely successful in the female realms.
Yes.
But
And
why have
aren't-
they not put up a product that screams to American young girls, this is what you can become? Because when you look at the WNBA, and if you are a parent of a young child, you go, I don't want my child to be in that league. I don't want my child to act like that. And the same has gone for a lot of basketball, a lot of football, a lot of baseball. It's gone the same direction. I don't want my child to act like that. I'm glad that they love sports, but I don't want my child to act like that. And so I think if you want to put up a product that's palatable, you have to solve this problem and you have to put up decent competition that has athletes that are not worried about trying to make a social impact. Bubba Wallace won at oh gosh,
NASCAR?
at Briscoe. Yes.
Yeah.
And he said he made it all about his race again. And then he said that the American public was not ready for a black man to win. And
Well, it's NASCAR. It's a
I went,
car.
what's your problem? See, the reason it's not that America doesn't want a black man to win, it's that America doesn't want you to win, Bubba Wallace. Doesn't want you, who's made your entire career in NASCAR about race, doesn't want you to win.
Oh yeah,
And Lewis Hamilton did the same thing in F1. Nobody cares that you're black. Just don't consistently make it about your race, because you're the one that keeps perpetrating this idea that there's massive amounts of racism and hate in your sport and in your country and towards you. Nobody hates you for your race, Bubba Wallace.
for your attitude and your nonsense and all this idiotic crap, man. Just win the race and do good. Let your skills speak for things.
I dislike him for his name. His name is Bubba Wallace. Like, I just have a problem with that. Like, I want to talk to his parents about that. That really bothers me.
Well, you remember he sparked it was like a federal investigation into a hate crime.
Oh, the garage
Because
door
there was-
hangers, right?
Yes, because there was a rope attached to a garage door that looked like a noose.
So he said, "There's."
Turns out it had been there for years, and it had been on every garage door, and all of them were tied the exact same. In fact, tied the same way in most tracks around the country
Yeah.
on their infields. Like,
You know,
it's ridiculous.
we're just feeding the monster, guys. Like, we're having a conversation about a DEI league, because that's what it is. The league is a DEI creation at scale, and it's there designed so that we can obsess about whatever narrative, whatever flavor of the month the leftist oligarchs want us to obsess about. I mean, it's stupid. We're literally having a conversation about social justice warriors worrying about social justice issues. This whole league is a experiment in social justice.
I think it became an experiment in social
I
justice.
think it was intended
'Cause
to.
I don't think-
Nobody was
I-
interested in professional women's basketball.
When it started years, no, you're wrong. You actually are, because when the league started out, who was the face of the league? Do you remember?
No.
Lisa Leslie.
What year did the league
have-
start?
Lisa Leslie. This was back in like the 90s, is when it became.
Yeah, I thought it was like
popular.
the late '80s or something. when it
So
started.
Lisa Leslie is the face of the WNBA during the 90s. The WNBA is on ESPN Top 10 over and over and over, not because of some DEI initiative or DEI push, because that wasn't a big deal back then, but because it gave the American public a sport to watch in the summer. And we also saw at the same time, that was when arena football had come out. That was when, remember trampoline basketball?
Oh yeah.
I don't believe that the WNBA has no opportunity to be a palatable league. I think the WNBA has the opportunity to be a palatable league. I think that's why we've seen professional soccer move towards women leagues all throughout the country, and actually with some success. I think that's why we
Well,
see that the MLB
I
is
think
going to
it-
sponsor a female league.
I think
I
you're
think
right.
that the American public is open to females participating in professional sports, but they're not interested in this nonsense that the WNBA consistently perpetrates.
No, I hear you. I'm into women. I prefer to watch women play sports than dudes. 100%. Seems way more palatable, honestly. But some of the stuff though too. You're talking about, like, they got these rich actors and all these other professionals and sports players from other things. Oh, they're not paid enough. They're not paid enough. Maybe the other people's professions are paid too much. And maybe if they think they're not paid enough, maybe they need to come out of their wallet. And
The data is there, right? The data is there. The women's basketball tournament, college basketball tournament, drives substantially more viewership than the WNBA ever will. Now, some could say, well, it's because of alumni and college tradition. Fine. But it's proof right there in the pudding that you can drive professional women's sports on television.
well,
People will
have you
watch.
ever just perused through it and watched some women's, like, college basketball versus WNBA? I think some of them college teams play harder. I think
It's a
some of
better
those
game. It's a better game to watch.
yeah, I think they play harder, try harder. I think they do a lot. It's a lot more entertaining to watch. It seems more competitive instead of just kind of showing up for a paycheck kind of aspect. Does that make sense? What I'm
Yeah, but
trying to say? It seems like they actually care about playing the sport that they're in and just stretching their skills to the max and really going, which makes it entertaining because you're like, oh, these people are trying.
well, I think we're having this conversation about trying to mentally put where professional female sports should belong. And I think where it belongs is like where curling belongs. Of course, there's a market.
Just the Olympics in Canada.
Like there's a niche market for female college basketball. Like yes, I acknowledge Jason's point that I'm wrong that perhaps there is a market for professional sports. What I should have said to been more clear is that you cannot even begin to put women's professional basketball into the same conversation as men's professional basketball. Men's professional basketball in the United States is iconic, legendary sports pastime. I mean, we're having Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant in this conversation. I mean, it's literally Americana, it's culture. And then you talk about women's professional basketball, that's not in the same sentence. That's in the same sentence as curling. So let's put it where it belongs. There's this social justice warrior motivation of like wanting to validate women's sports and there's like this political correctness pressure of, well, we must acknowledge that there's a market for women's professional basketball. Well, yeah, but not in the degree in the context that you're trying to say it. Like it's, maybe 0.005% of the population get really into it. God bless them. I'm sure there's a lot of people that get super into curling and breakdancing. And like there's a group of people. I mean, I'm in digital marketing. There's so many niches. There's like YouTube channels that probably are just dedicated to like quilting. And they probably have a fervent 50,000 followers that watch every single quilting video from beginning to end, and they don't miss a single video. Well, guess what? That person that's making those quilting videos is able to monetize it and make 50,000 a year, and they have a monopoly. They are the thought leader of quilting on YouTube.
So WNBA makes
I
70 grand in
I
3
think
months.
I think the problem is that the WNBA doesn't understand their audience and doesn't understand their prospective audience. Because if I were the commissioner of the WNBA, I'd say, look, we're going to clean up our act. We got to understand that we are trying to drive young girls to watch this sport, give them something to watch. And then we need to go to the millions of American girls that watch or play basketball at the YMCAs, at their local rec leagues,
High
in the
school.
AAU, in the high school. Go to those millions of girls and say, look, you have a team down the road we want you to go see. And we're going to give them free tickets. We're going to give you free tickets. Why? Because you're trying to get a lifetime supporter of the WNBA. But you have to clean up your act and you have to understand who your market is. And I don't think that your market is 40-year-old basketball loving, NBA loving human beings. Your market is young girls who play the sport, who want to watch. I coach swimming. I've coached swimming for a long time. My swimmers watch all of the national, international competitions. And now, luckily, they become more and more easily accessible through ESPN Plus and things like that. But they watch them. And then they come and they go, did you see it? I'm like, no, actually, I don't watch swimming on television because
Time you say
I see it enough.
the ESPN Plus, I think of what is it, Dodgeball? ESPN, the Ocho.
Yes.
Like, okay.
They actually have ESPN Ocho Week. It involves corgi races.
Oh man.
It also involves
Yeah.
lawnmower races.
And for those that
Automobile
don't know,
races.
because Aaron keeps saying curling, it's basically a kettlebell. It's a Canada thing, and there's ice, a kettlebell, and a broom guy, like the janitor from the middle school somewhere. And dude just tries to slide it down a thing into a target, like skee ball, kind of. So if you don't know what it is, look it up. It's actually it'll actually kind of make you go like, what?
Yeah,
This is a
yeah,
sport.
yeah. Jason said it beautifully and practically. Like, know who you are. Like, know your role. Know your audience. You are not the NBA. You are never going to be in the same sentence as the NBA. You are a league whose name sounds like you're on par with the National Basketball Association, but you are so far away from that. We should not even call it the WNBA. We should call it something different because just giving it that name almost gives it the credence that in the same universe as the
So
NBA.
do you think they're allowing this like racist stuff? What's the lady's name again?
Caitlin,
Yes.
So you think they're allowing it to draw attention then, as kind of an advertising thing or something? Like, oh, look at the attention
No.
because there's crazy stuff happening, or you think they're just allowing it
No.
out of just
I
kind of being crappy?
No, I don't. And if you look right, when Caitlin Clark is supposed to play, ticket sales skyrocket. When Caitlin Clark is out and not going to play, their ticket sales is dismal. Like Caitlin Clark currently is the WNBA and the only part of the WNBA. And she's getting roughed up and roused because of this color of her skin. And these women
dumb.
should be thanking her. They should be praising her. Why? Because Caitlin Clark has reinvigorated this league and they're wasting an opportunity. The WNBA is wasting an opportunity with Caitlin Clark. They're wasting the opportunity that they have to drive viewership.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds ridiculous. I don't like any racist stuff or sexist stuff because I think it's always stupid and ridiculous. And this just sounds like a bunch of terrible people letting terrible things happening. So I don't know. I think it's dumb. Maybe she should start roughing other people back up. So what exactly is happening to her that's racist? Just the other players are just like beating her up? Are they like
Oh yeah.
stealing her stuff in the locker room? Are they like taking her car and flipping it over in the parking lot?
I don't know
what
if
is
they're
she
taking
getting
I don't know if
smacked?
they're taking her car, but very aggressive actions, very aggressive in the media. There's a lot of perpetration of Caitlin Clark hate all throughout the league.
So she's making the league noticeable, and everybody's mad about it because she's a white lady.
Yeah, but they want to be paid more, but they don't want Caitlin Clark to be the face of the league that may get them higher pay.
That's the dumbest thing ever. It's like
It
it's
is.
like beating up yourself.
It is. It's like look,
Self-destruct.
if you knew that there was a presidential candidate that could put hundreds of thousands of dollars back into your local economies and your local families and in your pocket, and you have a hatred so badly that there's no chance in God's green earth that you would vote for the right candidate because you just don't like them, that is the situation here. That's also the situation I just described with our presidential election. But guys are kind of turn this back politically somehow. But going biblically, it's the same story with Jesus Christ, right? It's right there. The story of grace, the story of the gospel. It's right there in front of you, but some people have so much hate in their hearts and they're so hard hearted that even when the facts are in front of them and they have this beautiful opportunity, that they turn around and walk away.
Clayton Bigsby, aka Dave Chappelle, said, "If you got hate in your heart, let it out." You guys remember that skit when he was the blind racist? He didn't realize he was black.
If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
On the hood, Cletus.
If you
What the heck?
you got hate in your heart, let it out. Anyways, no. Here's a fun fact that I'm not sure if our audience is familiar with. That the WNBA merch shop openly partners with abortion rights lobbying organizations. Maybe that's AI malfunctioning, but that's what the AI is saying. And I didn't know if this is true or not, but they're saying that the 3-point line is not the same distance as it is in the NBA.
Well, the hoops are lower too, I heard.
The ball is smaller, and lighter rims are masquerading as the men's product when it's not the exact same rim. So the game seems to have been changed a little bit. What do you think of that?
That's the story all around. It's the same question. If you look at tennis, right? There's this question of in major championships, the men play 5 sets, the women play 3 sets. But tennis is one of the only sports where there's no pay gap between men and women. The women's purse is oftentimes the exact same as the men's purse in all of these majors. So, those that are trying to play devil's advocate oftentimes bring up, well, hey, if you want to not have a pay gap, maybe the women should be playing 5 sets. Like that's often an argument that you hear. Women on the women's PGA, the LPGA, they play
Those are
the full. They play the full 72 holes. They play the exact same as the men. Now there is giant pay discrepancies between the two, but there's viewership,
pay come
and you have to bring in money. and you have to drive revenue.
Say it's sponsorships and advertising, right? Most of it.
Yeah, let the free market decide. If there's a demand for women's professional basketball, God bless them. Like I personally, because I don't want to walk away from this conversation as like the anti-woman, misogynist in the group. Like I enjoy female tennis. Like I think that when women compete at tennis at a professional level, it's just as entertaining, if not more entertaining than men. So this is not coming up here and saying only men can entertain us at a professional level in sports. Women can do so as well. It's definitely limited because men are physically stronger, but it's not to say that women don't put on a world class performance on tennis. I mean, again, I camp on tennis because I love that sport, but I think same could be said for.
Biased with the tennis.
I'm biased with the tennis, but there's other sports out there. Like I think softball is another one. Golf, definitely. Especially when you look at some of these Korean golfers, the women are completely. I think women could compete against men in golf. I don't see there being a huge difference. I think women maybe on the equal playing field.
You could probably do it if you allowed them to play off of their tees. Very similar to WNBA, the women's players they have a separate tee box.
Okay.
It's closer to the hole. If you matched up the women and the men, the top 50, 100 men, there's the top 5 women would not stand a chance.
Happy Gilmore.
But
Parker.
overseas, women's professional sports leagues are very successful.
Right.
And they're not successful in the U.S., and I believe that they're not successful in the U.S. because they're marketed wrong.
Honestly, for me, I really do not give a lot of value to sports. I don't really care about sports, honestly, as an overall.
Sports ball.
I just don't really care. I don't see the importance. It's not it's not solving world hunger. It's not important. It's just distractions and entertainment. To me, it's just the modern coliseums. It's just like, here's some crap to be distracted by. And you're like, most of these people are not really that good of people. I don't really care about sports personally at all. But I think with the part with this of the women demand, we need more money, and then they're kind of like cutting their own throats because they're star player. you're all what? This lady's drawing attention, so it'll bring more sponsorships and more advertising, and probably put more money in everybody's pocket. But then they're still so mad that they're making like $70K in 3 months. Is that what you said? $70K in 3 months.
I think that's what the league minimum. I don't know what the league.
That's the league minimum. So most are probably getting more. There's probably a bunch getting more. So it's not bad. It's not bad compared to a lot of other jobs. You know what I mean?
Bread and circus, brother.
And I think honestly they overpay all these athletes.
The league minimum for players with 0 to 2 years of service is $66,000. For 3 or more years of service, the minimum salary is $78,000. They're playing for 3 months.
Yeah,
dude, I'd be
3 months is a season. That's so short too.
By the way, any guesses on the number 1 most successful women's sport around the world?
Yes.
Soccer.
Cricket.
A lot of Indians.
Not the insect.
And Europe. I love cricket.
Well, there's 1 billion Indians. I think we tend to forget that there's 1 billion Indian brothers and sisters.
But the women's Big Bash, which is the Australian T20 cricket league, I believe that they bring in more revenue than the WNBA, which is in Australia cricket.
We should have the TNBA, the Trans League. That'd be dope.
I think we should have the trans games.
Trans games.
I think people might tune in to watch it just because, well, it'd be
Pride Month.
Entertaining to watch.
The International Trans Olympics in June.
Well, we've gone way off topic at this point, so let's call this a day. Thanks for joining us. God bless.
Peace.
Want it better, be better.